Are we streaming? Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the public forum today of 17th June prior to our ordinary council meeting. We have a speaker today, Beck Coleman. Before I go into that, I will read through our disclaimer that relate to public forums. So please note that this meeting is being live streamed via Council's website and your image and your voice may be broadcast. Attendance at this meeting is to be taken as consent by you for your image and your voice being live streamed. All speakers should refrain from making any defamatory comments or releasing any personal information about another individual without their consent. Council accepts no liability for any damage that may result from defamatory comments made by persons attending this meeting. All liability will rest with the individual who made the comments. A recording of the meeting will be published on Council's webpage for the balance of the Council's term or for 12 months from the meeting, whichever is the later, and retained as a Council record. Individuals acting in a disorderly manner can be asked to leave the meeting under Council's Code of Meeting Practice. This meeting must not be recorded by others without the prior written consent of the Council in accordance with Council's Code of Meeting Practice. So welcome back. You've got 3 minutes and maybe a little extra with some discretion, but we like to keep it short. If you'd like to introduce yourself and present to Council.
Thank you very much. Thank you, councillors, for the opportunity to speak with you today. My name's Beck Coleman, as I was just introduced. I'm also joined here by Kel Baxter and Craig Congram, who are also ratepayers and transport operators in your shire. We represent over 300 transport operators, including around 14 in the Berrigan Shire. We are here today because we are deeply concerned about the Council's proposed increase to the truck wash charges at Berrigan and Finley to $1.60 per minute. By way of background, LBRCA has had a long constructive relationship with Berrigan Shire. Going back to 2016, we were successful in helping Berrigan with their application to receive $173,000 to upgrade the Finley truck wash site. We also again supported Council's application in 2020 for the Heavy Vehicle Safety and Productivity Program of $280,000 to upgrade the livestock loading and unloading facilities at the Finley site as well. We've also worked with previous CEO Karina Ewers to get New South Wales Farmgate access in the region, which was an early adopter. So Berrigan was one of 10 early adopters of that program. So basically, we're not here today to oppose Council for the sake of opposing the price increase. That's not how we operate, and that's what makes this situation so disappointing. The truck wash charge was previously around 40 cents per minute for decades. Around 2 years ago, it increased to around $1 per minute, and again in early 2026 this year, it increased to $1.36, all increased without industry consultation. Council is now proposing to increase that again to $1.60 per minute, which is effectively a fourfold increase from the previous 40-cent rate. There is also a serious inconsistency in Council's own papers. The draft fees and charges refer to a current truck wash charge of $1.50 per minute. However, AvData, which manages the fee collection for Finley and Berrigan sites, stipulates the current charge at $1.36 per minute. Now, that is not a minor error. It means that the proposed increase is not from $1.50 to $1.60, as Council's papers suggest. It is from $1.36 to $1.60. And that inaccuracy matters because it raises a reasonable concern that Council may not have a clear understanding of the current charges in place, how those charges are being applied, or the basis for the proposed increase. And that is exactly why Council should pause and review the actual charging arrangements before any further increase is adopted. For context, truck wash facilities are not optional conveniences for livestock carriers. They are essential agricultural and freight infrastructure. Operators use these facilities to meet animal welfare requirements by law, biosecurity obligations by law, chain of responsibility duties by law, workplace health and safety obligations, again by law, and also processor hygiene expectations. A livestock truck cannot simply choose not to wash out when washing is required, and that is the reality. At $1.60 per minute, the cost becomes significant very quickly. A B-double stock crate can take around 3 hours to wash out properly. At the proposed rate, that equates to $288 for water alone, plus excuse me, approximately $120 in wages, taking the total cost to more than $400 for a single washout, which some operators do need to complete up to 3 or 4 times a week. That cost sits on top of fuel, registration, insurance, maintenance, compliance costs, and already tight operating margins. For operators, this is another unavoidable cost being added without a clear explanation of why. Now, LBRCA is not saying council should operate truck wash facilities at a loss. We understand facilities cost money. They require maintenance, water, power, administration and ongoing management. But the charges must be fair, they must be transparent and they must be proportionate. They should be based on genuine cost recovery, not simply increased because a facility is used or because the cost can be passed on to transport operators. Again, the proposed $1.60 per minute charge is for unfiltered water, and that matters. Jerilderie, Griffith and Hay use unfiltered water, and their charges range from 54 cents per minute at Hay to 82 cents per minute at Jerilderie. Deniliquin and Wagga Wagga use filtered water, and their charges
1 minute
range...
warning, Beck. 1 minute.
Thank you. Charges range from 95 cents per minute at Deniliquin to $1.14 at Wagga. As you can see, the proposed Berrigan and Finley rate of $1.60 per minute is significantly higher than comparable facilities across the region and up to 65 cents higher than comparable sites that provide filtered water. Since I've got a minute, So today, LBRCA is respectively asking Council not to proceed with the proposed increase of $1.60 per minute. Instead, we ask Council to adopt a fair and viable charge that reflects the type of water provided and that is consistent with comparable facilities across the Riverina. On that basis, LBRCA recommends Council set the charge at 65 cents per minute, reflecting the average charge for comparable truck wash facilities that use unfiltered water across the Riverina. Finally, LBRCA also notes a significant level of revenue already generated from the Berrigan and Finley truck wash sites. We understand that across the last financial year, Berrigan Shire received approximately $6,500 in revenue from the Berrigan site, and we understand $280,000 from the Finley site. These figures suggest that these facilities already generate substantial revenue. Given this revenue position, we question whether further price increases are genuinely necessary, particularly when facilities utilise unfiltered water and already charge materially above comparable regional facilities. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Councillors, do any councillors have any questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Councillor Healy.
Thank you for that, Beck. Just a question, because of the difference in prices, is there any known times where carriers are actually choosing to use other facilities outside of the Berrigan Shire?
Craig Congram. With the current state of charges at the Finley and Berrigan truck wash now, that I've instructed all my drivers now that if they're coming through in any different direction now to pull up at Deniliquin, pull up at Jerilderie, pull up at Corowa,
Yep.
To wash out, we're avoiding these washes. As a local carrier, it's very inconvenient. But that's just us, is that you can drive out there now. One time you'd be driving out there and there'd be trucks lined up to wash out.
Yep.
And now they're avoiding the place.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Sorry, I was just going to ask, obviously I haven't been to any of the facilities. Is there a standard, like are some of these facilities newer than some of the older facilities, or are there, is there a difference in those environments?
This is the most disappointing part, is that we, through the association, lobbied and got the funding and got our site to, I would say, the best in Australia, without a doubt. With the facilities we've got there now, it is the best in Australia that we wash out at. So we've set the bar and we've set the standard, and now I feel that we're getting knifed. We've sort of killed the goose that laid the golden egg.
Councillors, any other questions? Councillor Stringer.
The costing of all this, is it not tax deductible? Can you not recover the cost of all this?
No, we're wearing it, and it's unsustainable. It's costing us around $400 a washout for a B double. I've got 3 of them,
Yeah.
And during the winter and the spring months, we can wash out 3-4 times a week. So do the numbers, it's, you know,
But you can't claim this back on tax at the end of the financial year.
well, you possibly could if you're making a profit, yeah, but,
Not usually.
it's not usually, no.
Yeah, all right, thank you.
Any other questions from councillors?
Sorry, with that not being tax deductible, are you passing that cost back onto those farmers that are using your transport company?
Not really. It's just got out of control. When it was at 40 cents a minute, it was $24 an hour. We'd wear it. You wouldn't pass it on. When it went to the $1 a minute, we tried to juggle it to pass it on to the farmers around the area without them knowing what they were paying for. But we did let them know that this is what the increase is for. But now the scale's tipped over too much that we can't blatantly just go and charge them $400 every time and to put it in perspective, we're talking about the big crates. I was talking to a local carrier this morning with a body truck. They'll come over here to Berrigan and pick up a load of cattle, take back to Finley, unload, and then go down to Barooga and pick up a load of lambs. She gets $220 a load to do it, and it will cost her about $120 to wash out. So it's just, there's no joy in it at all now.
Can I just get clarity on that? What's a body truck? Did you say it was a body?
Tray truck,
So a small
truck, yeah.
Councillor Dennis has got
So-
a question. Sorry. Go ahead.
With the budget from the council being released, so you know what the costs are, was that raised at any time before coming here today through the process of public consultation with the budget? Did you have correspondence with people to let them know that it was an error of 156 is what you said, wasn't it?
Yes, so I did, when the fees and charges documentation came out, I did provide a submission. I was told that that submission wasn't received when it was sent through to the CEO's office, so we did raise it. We also raised this issue back in January 2026 when we were aware of the issue, of the increase from to $1.50. So effectively we have tried since January, and this is the formal process that we followed, hence the reason why we're here today.
And we do now have that submission, just for noting. Any other questions?
Could I make a statement?
I didn't think you were. Very quickly, please, because we do need to
Thanks,
start our
Julia.
council
I just
meeting.
want to say that most people would think that a truck wash is the truck wash. It's really what Berrigan Shire is offering is a trailer wash, because you won't wash your truck with unfiltered water. In our case, we buy tanker loads of unfiltered water from the Shire and take it home and put it through our own facility. No point in trying to wash a cabin of a truck that's nice and clean with dirty water. And the only others in the state that I can see that are charging $1.60 on filtered water.
Okay.
Can I just make one more statement? I'm sort of a bit nervous at the
Yeah,
start.
very quickly. Thank you.
It's not that we love washing crates out, I can tell you, but
No.
this is a biosecurity, it's really is a biosecurity thing with,
Yeah.
if there's any farmers in here, about 4 years ago, or whatever it was, when we had a wet year, foot rot was out of control.
Yeah.
Now, if I come to your place and load your sheep and I haven't washed out from the last bloke's place that had suspect animals, you'd never get me back again. And that's the bottom line. We don't like washing crates out, but it's what we have to do.
Yeah. No, I have a good friend who's the chief vet of South Australia, and she talks about biosecurity non-stop.
Yeah.
And we had a group, she wouldn't let us on the farm without all changing our boots, all of this. So it's, entirely understand. Thank you so much for your attendance today. So the fees and charges do come up at item 9.12 of our agenda today. You're welcome to stay. However, the meeting is live streamed, so you'll be able to watch it at your leisure at your desks. Or else you could stay here and be entertained by the rest. But thank you so much. This will conclude our public forum for June 17, 2026.
Thank you, councillors.